but we have also a global mailing list that people can just sign up to, which is the communication channel to reach all of our members. That's also, by the way, the only definition of members. Just be on the mailing list so that you're aware of the opportunities that go on. I'm now going to go a little bit. So this is basically, I described to you the philosophy, you know, what we want to do. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the practicalities of how we do that. Anybody of you who has ever been organizing something knows that as soon as you want to do something seriously, you want to open a bank account, you want to try to get people helping you out, you need a legal entity, an association or something. Yeah? We have that. That is called the Space Generation Advisory Council, and the whole actually item of us is in support of the United Nations Program on Space Applications. Okay? So we have a legal document somewhere registered. We are a legal entity, and we make use of that whenever we feel fit that we make use of that. But there's more to it, as Jim knows. Space Generation Advisory Council goes back to a conference of the United Nations, which means that there's representatives of countries, ministers, that come together to talk about super high-level space policy. What are we going to do in the next decade? Of course, it was 1999, before the millennium, so people were very enthusiastic, and they really thought, like, how do we change the world into something great? But what was significant is that some people in the United Nations realized everything that we're talking about, what we are going to do in the future in space, actually doesn't affect us so much as it affects the new generation. They are going to go to Mars, not us. So why don't we invite them to tell us what they find important? So that was, of course, a very good idea to actually, and a significant idea, to open up their ears of the UN. What do the youth think? The challenge was actually given to our alumni of ISU, because ISU already by that time had a reputation to have people that are able to get these things done. It was a great success. There were many, I don't remember how many, I think 200 delegates, 200 young people that came there. And in fact, what they did was exactly the same thing as these ministers and these top-level officials did. Talk about what do we need to do in space? What do we find significant? Where can we make progress? What things need to be changed? It was such a success that at the end, this is usually what happens if you have a conference, a meeting, is you write things down, what you have discussed, the great ideas that you have come up with. And what happened is that in total, 10 ideas, 10 recommendations were suggested as the outcome of this, and 5 of them came from the young people, and 5 of them came from the, I should almost want to say the older people, but from the official side of the conference. So half. So the impact that that meeting had was huge. It was as significant as these other people were doing. Well, the funny thing, of course, if you have an idea, a recommendation to do, the first thing that you do, if you have a golden, not the golden globe, but if you have I'd say the magic ball, the first thing that you ask is that you can ask more. So what we did is we said, well, this conference has been such a success. The concept that we can tell or work together with the United Nations, we want to continue doing this. And that was honored. We, after that, this association, this legal entity, was allowed to be present at all the meetings of the United Nations Committee on Peaceful Use of Outer Space, which is where it happened. It doesn't show very well, but we are the only youth organization that is able to have this dialogue with the UN, and that makes it very significant. So, okay, we're global. We also have the 3 I's because we're global. I mean, if you talk to people from different countries, you are international, you are intercultural, and usually you're interdisciplinary by nature. Not everybody does space tech engineering or whatever. I find another one. I was surprised that Mike also mentioned the 4th I, the intergenerational. I think that's a very good one, and I will come back to that why I find it important. But I think the most significant one is interpersonal. We're all working with people. One person to the other person, we're working in teams. Okay, this is a quite outdated snapshot of all the fun activities that we do. A solar eclipse in Africa, space party, etc. I think actually, is that you, Vincent, playing that instrument up there? Vincent is not here anymore. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to work together with this PEACE, the Committee on Peaceful Use of Outer Space, because we want to inform them what youth activities are going on. We have been asked, our name suggests this, in support of the program of space applications. The UN also does activities to try to foster exchange of knowledge between the haves and the have-not. I'm not sure if that is a politically correct term, but from the spacefaring countries to the developing spacefaring countries. In 1999, we said that we want to do 10 things. We have these 10 recommendations. So we want to actually make progress on that. Okay? So we want to work on each of those points. We want to increase the visibility of young people that do things related to space, because that is significant that they do that. Why does a person want to throw a party with a space team? It is because they like space, and that needs to be told really, really a lot. At the same time, we want to enhance the skills of the people that are involved. We want to, well, the establishment is already done, but we want to actually engage this global volunteer network. And one of the things that we can do is, it says there, act as watchdog for space agencies. I can tell you that many, many times promises are made. Okay, the Director General of ESA said, we're going to employ more young graduate trainees, which is the program to get more people. First thing that happened when there was not enough money is that program was downsized. Now who can say to ESA, hey, I'm not so very happy that you're doing that. There's other ways where you can save money. You can only do that if you have a significant organization that ESA can listen to. So that is one of the goals. By the way, when I say watchdog, I also mean it actually in a positive way. All these professionals, their whole job relies on the fact that we think it's important that they do these things. So why don't we say that to them? NASA, you're doing a great job. ESA, all the space agencies, you are doing great jobs because we think it's important that you do these things. A couple of our successes. How many people of you know of Yuri's Night? Very good. How many of you know about Space Generation Congress? Also not bad. Those two projects, I think, are the real clear, concrete annual events that we have to physically get people together. Okay, the rest is all virtual. We have contributed to space policy. Two examples of that is that we have been able to put text into the EU Green Paper, for those of you who know what that is. Too much information here. If you are interested in how concretely we actually manage to influence space policy, or how we can help with space policy, do come to me. The United Nations action teams were very significant, and we've been really working quite hard to sit together with them to write the documents to do these things. Consultancy projects, what I mean with that is that an external source comes to us and says, like, look, we have an idea, help us tell what you think about that. The next opportunity that is the case is the NCAC, what does it stand for again? Next Generation Exploration Conference. It's NASA that invited a couple of people through Space Generation to review the plans that should, implement the vision of Bush to do exploration. I also